It is. I mean, it is a lot.
I didn't even ask, am I allowed to drink on your show?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, because I'm over here trying to hide and shit. I mean, you've heard our music, right? You're familiar with it. But my best writing abilities have come from the Discovery Channel, The Animals.
What the fuck?
You know, reggaeton comes in and the label automatically switches gears and, you know, it's like all of a sudden you're side B now. We're going to put you on hold for a little bit while we work on this shit.
No, es que en el regional mexicano así se trabaja. And it's like, pero así no es, cabrones. You know, it's like, lo hacen más difícil. Pues a mí me va la verga, güey. You know, me debes y me vas a pagar y si no, pues no te voy a hacer.
Till this day, people are still trying to make banda rap and it's like, fuck.
Mira, güey, ahora todos son raperos, güey, con banda. Wey. Todos. Los que cantaban banda ahora hacen rap banda. No. We came up with a motherfucking style that can't be fucking touched by anybody that hates.
Don't get me wrong, like, you know, the kids doing their shit this day, you know, all for them. I love a lot of that shit because a lot of these kids are breaking barriers.
Yeah, but their attitudes are all fucked up.
There's dudes that are releasing up to 2 songs a week sometimes.
I have no fucking respect for people that do that. I don't think that they're in it because they have a passion for it. The people that are fucking here talking about my numbers and my this and that's like, show me the fucking money. Los content creators que tienen las disqueras es que les están cagando música de noche a la mañana y ellos tienen con qué vender, sea lo que sea, ahí no tienen su pinche puesto.
What's up, everybody? Aquí andamos nuevamente, su compa Edgar Rodríguez. Estamos en otro episodio más de Así Pero Bien. And this occasion, we have these guys that I've known for a long ass time. I feel like I know you guys like forever, bro. Forever and ever. You guys know them as Akwid, and they're in the house today. What's up, fellas?
Yeah.
Come on, then.
We were supposed to say, hola, nosotros somos
Akwid. That's such a price thing to do. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Nosotros somos Akwid.
I remember when we started like doing the, you know, the chitlin circuit and all that shit, like all those radio shits we had to do. That's what they want.
After the interview, huh?
It wasn't mainly the chitlin circuit. It's just that it was the tradition that regional Mexican artists do.
Yeah.
And they considered us a regional Mexican artist. But since, you know, we were on the hip hop shit, when they would say, háganle así, and I was like, we don't do that shit. Like, who does that?
You guys gotta do it at the same time, the name at the same time, you know?
Yeah, y los
like coordinators.
Yeah. Bro, a veces, y los que no son buenos for that shit, they fucking take forever, dog. They take forever, bro.
Hey, pues solo a mí este güey somos dos. Ustedes que andan con la banda, güey, son un chingo para coordinar.
Nah, but only me and Mariano do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and him, we got it down. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Somos
On sync, right?
Yeah, we already got that shit down, dog. Pues Mariano no tanto, güey. Todavía se enverga. Tantos años que tiene el cabrón haciendo y se enverga, pero...
Oh, man.
I guess the talking me la aviento yo most of the time.
Well, you've always been pretty much the
chatterbox
coordinator, you know, on top of game. I remember I used to talk to you years back, and you were the one that was involved, and I used to have the same ideologies. Like, y Mariano, ¿cuándo le entra Mariano? But it was you. It was always you.
Spanglish, bro.
Spanglish, okay.
Yeah, es que yo hablo Spanglish, güey. O sea, si ustedes me hablan en puro español, les hablo en puro español. Pero si quieren hablar en inglés...
No, I'm just same here. I was just
como
wondering.
me hablen, yo hablo igual, güey.
Mira, si hablamos puro español, la gente que dice, ¿por qué le hablan en inglés? Y luego si hablamos en inglés, dice, ¿por qué hablan en español? Que la chinga no se entienden.
Güey, a mí me contaron que tú eras Edgar, el morro del video, güey, de... no mames, güey. The one that fell in the charco. Was that you?
No, güey. ¿Cómo es
no, güey, no mames, güey.
His name was Edgardo, right?
Edgar. No, Edgar.
Edgar,
la caída de Edgar.
Yeah, that's right.
Edgar.
Bro, fuck, dog. Hey, ese morro, y luego para que hablar estaba gordito también, güey. Dije, valiendo verga. Y luego se llama Edgar.
That was one of the first internet memes.
Yeah, dude.
Those viral shit.
That fool came out ya, últimamente no, ya bien grandote.
Por eso I thought it was...
Well, he got a commercial with the chocolate
with
company
chocolate,
in
no?
Mexico.
Really?
I think it was Carlos Quinto.
Ya está grandote.
O Emperador, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was one of them chocolates, pero ahí sale el güey.
Yeah, and then they recreated his commercial with guards and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Pero
I think I've seen that shit.
Hey, but that was one of the first viral videos que salieron, ¿no?
Mm-hmm.
That shit
but wasn't there a reason why they used that chocolate for the commercial? Didn't he?
They fucking just came up with a marketing idea.
Yeah, right?
That's fucking crazy, though.
See,
those chocolates are old school too. I remember them when they were little. They were like they were in like brown package, como.
Those are Carlos Quinto, no?
You're talking about Carlos Quinto.
Those are still fire, bro.
They are, but he's confusing them because Carlos Quinto casi sabe a chocolate abuelita así, güey, sin calentar.
Machín.
That shit, you gotta melt
sugar.
that shit.
Hey, bro, I used to buy all those they were like fucking a quarter, compraba 4, güey. No,
Yeah, those were
I'll
good.
throw my backpack and be on the road comiendo mamadas de esas. No mames. What's up, guys? So what you guys been up to, man? I haven't heard from you guys in a minute. We haven't talked in a minute, más bien. I see you guys all over the place, but I haven't talked to you guys in a minute.
Just doing the same shit, bro.
Recording and doing shows.
Yeah, the traditional shit that we got accustomed to throughout the years. You know, we record at our pace. You know, we do this shit at our pace. We do shows.
Yeah.
We travel. You know, it's just not as saturated as it used to.
Yeah.
It's not as stressful.
It's under your time, no?
It's actually feels pretty good. You know.
Yeah.
I
think that's where some of the value into all the hard work that you put in comes in.
Yeah.
You know, like
sure.
as you yourself, you know, with recording in your studios, you know, you put a lot of effort into that, and now you get to enjoy it from a different perspective. Ya no andas en chinga that you gotta get this shit done y todo el otro, you know. So
que mañana tienen tele, and you gotta get up at 5, you know, fucking 3 in the morning to be at Univision to go dance for them at fucking 5 a.m.
Como payaso,
Hey.
te pones el traje de payaso y ahí.
People watch that shit on TV, you know, they think, oh, these motherfuckers are fresh out of the man, todos desvelados con lagañas, you know?
Sí, I remember that shit. Fucking, they get you up early as fuck.
Because they have all those early shows, especially the Miami ones.
Oh my
man,
God.
those Despierta America shit.
Technically, you're getting up like way earlier because we're on fucking West Coast time. And then you go out there the next morning, they wake you up at 3 in the morning.
Yep.
Tiempo de caña, you're like, what the fuck, bro? But I remember I used to love that shit though.
But
It was an
I
adventure.
think that's the shit though. You know, that is not an everyday thing. You get to do it, you know, when you're on that type of a campaign on the road, and it's just work that has to get done. But you know, in reality, the opportunity that you're getting, you know, to be,
I don't think a lot of artists experience that shit, you know?
I was just gonna say that.
It's a hell of a thing.
To be in the business and to be as successful, to be a part of shows like that is like, you have no idea how hard that is, especially, you know,
I mean,
starting
esos
out.
güeyes que andan ahí vendiendo sus perfumes, güey, les venden el tiempo.
Sí,
No, but I'm
huevo.
saying, you know, like artists, there's so many artists, you know, a lot of artists don't fucking make it.
No. Hey, especially now, we're in different times. Ahora ya se acaban los tiempos de you go to the shows, you do the... I mean, sí hay, pero no, it's not as common as it was before. Y ahora los grupos ahorita, muchos, I mean, they won't ever get to experience that.
No.
Doing the radio tours.
Budgets changed, and now labels ain't spending that much money.
They're not
now it's
spending.
like, you know, if you can get here, you know, we got you. But if you can't get here, it's like, you're good.
Get here on your own dime.
I mean,
Sí,
fuck.
hoy está un poco fresco el clima.
No, yeah, you know,
Estos güeyes
it's,
tienen una conversación bien buena, güey.
no, it's an experience to me as I didn't never imagine that shit like that would happen. You know, fucking limos waking you up in Miami, you know, to go take you to the
Chicafecito
fucking.
cubano, sí.
Hey,
You know?
but you know what though, you te acostumbras y luego ya cuando regresas
Well,
ya
yeah,
no te
I
ponen
mean-
limo, güey, vale madre.
Right.
Porque
No.
por todas unas 2 semanas se trae
But-
bien chingón,
Sí.
güey.
I'm saying-
Que pasan por ti a tu
Yeah, pero yo digo
house
de experiencia that they treat you like like you feel like, all right, you know, thank you, you know, you're appreciating. You feel that you're being appreciated
Yeah.
for what you've accomplished.
Ahora, you think that at the moment it was happening, you guys appreciated it the way you appreciate it? No, ¿verdad?
Absolutely not.
I feel you.
I
bro.
don't.
I think it's not really not appreciating. It's more acknowledging where the fuck you're at that moment.
Exactly.
It's not that.
You're
You know,
living the
because
moment, no?
see, I don't feel that I've had moments of ungratefulness. You know, and I've admired and I look up to, and I never thought that I'd imagine myself sitting next to, let's say, a Don Francisco. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, I used to watch this motherfucker on TV. And I'm sitting next to him, you know, and the accommodations that come along with doing that show, or doing Christina.
Oh my God.
You know, I mean, they pamper you, you know, everywhere from where you get to the airport, to the hotel, to your room, to the services that they have just for you, you know, all the gifting, you know, so you're full of gratitude the entire time. You just don't, the time hasn't caught up to you, like, ¿qué es lo que está pasando en ese momento?
It's like
No lo saboreas, ¿no?
what people
Correcto.
fake, people fake on the internet right now to make themselves look popular.
Exactly.
We used to do that shit for real.
Yeah, for real.
You know, for real.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, you see that shit and it's like, come on, man.
The biggest
you know?
fucking parties and all that shit though. That shit is a whole nother level. And I think that's being an artist at its fullest fucking potential, no? When you get to do all that shit, like going to, I remember shit going to Francisco, like that's the biggest. I mean, that's like going right out to the Tonight Show or something.
The fucking, when we performed at Premios Lo Nuestro, I mean, my mouth was dry by the time the half of the first
He
verse,
was high. He was
the
high. That's
fucking
why that's just called
adrenaline, bro.
Cottonmouth.
No, you know what I'm saying? The adrenaline on a show like that is, it's a fucking experience that no matter how much you smoke or do, you ain't never gonna feel that shit.
Were you guys high when you went?
No, you know what's funny? We didn't used to smoke weed back then.
I remember when we went on that Miami tour.
Miami,
you guys, me and Mariano were like,
we're
gonna
bags
cheat
of
these
shit.
guys out. We fucking we took all
dude.
kinds of weed and we're like, hey, you guys wanna smoke? Oh, we don't smoke. We're like, oh,
Me and this guy were like, oh shit, they want us to do drugs with them.
But
Sorry, we don't do drugs.
What's funny is that people used to say that shit like, oh, you guys are the only fucking rappers that don't smoke weed.
Yeah.
I was tripping out like, oh shit, we brought all this weed. I'm like,
No, and
we're gonna smoke
we
it.
literally just started, I think, within the past, 7 years, 6-7 years or so?
Oh shit! But I mean,
For health reasons.
for health reasons,
For health
yeah,
reasons.
yeah,
Medical
cataracts,
conditions.
For health reasons, we're getting.
Bro, no, a mí I remember that time, I don't even know, like, ahorita pura madre que me llevo fucking weed on the
Oh,
plane.
you took it on the plane?
On the plane, bro.
No
I
seas
took that
mamón,
shit.
güey.
Lo,
Serious?
Lo metí así in I think in a sock, and then the sock inside a shoe. Y ahí vamos volando y me llevaba mi weed, you know?
Oh,
everywhere I would go.
shit.
And I would travel like that all the time.
You wouldn't
bro.
worry like.
Me valía madre, güey. I
The
didn't think,
fucking x-rays or the perros or nada?
nothing. Gracias a Dios, I never got caught. One of our bass player did.
Crazy.
That fool in Utah, and yeah, we were at the gate. They called his name. Y vámonos, se lo llevaron. But I mean, they let him go. they just gave him a ticket. But he had to
But they
fucking
call
fly
it-
back.
you-
Oh, really? So that's what happens when you got... Oh, well, that was back then,
You would
though,
put
right?
it in your carry-on or in your
No,
like,
in
the luggage.
the luggage, yeah.
Okay.
So lo ponían un sock, and then I'll put the sock inside the shoe or one of the boots or
Yeah.
whatever. And then, I mean, con la bendición de mi padre.
That's crazy though.
Bro,
Fuck.
and I remember that time we're like, oh shit, we brought all this weed. And so me and Mariano were just chiefing out like the whole time during that trip, bro. That was fucking funny. But I mean, I like to this day, I think like, I mean, weed is nothing. No se me hace a mí algo.
No, it's not a big deal. But you know what's funny? Like, to the weed smokers, because
Yeah.
I smoke weed, but then there's people that can smoke weed.
Yeah.
I can have not a blunt, like the small... Well, I don't even know what you call them. Pinche churrillos, güey.
A joint,
right?
a
A
joint.
joint. It'll last me 2-3 days.
Oh, damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll hit it in the evening while I'm having a beer,
Yeah.
and it's just really
That's what she said.
cut that edge, But I've never
Yeah.
ever been just high. Like I can't smoke that much. I don't know what'll
Yeah.
happen. I could probably die.
You won't
I
die, no.
don't. Yeah, you know what's
Scientifically
crazy?
proven.
I don't think that I've been like high. You know,
Yeah.
like I
What
don't-
about the day que se te doblaron las patas?
Oh
güey?
well, that
See?
but still, I didn't smoke. I've never smoked a full joint in one sitting.
No.
Never. So that's what I
What
mean.
does that do?
So I don't know what that
just-
feels like.
Get higher.
That's crazy. See, I think I'm
No.
afraid to feel that way.
Ahora, I'll tell you this much. I'd rather smoke a full joint than and eat like a fucking edible that you don't know how much.
I've never
dosage,
had an
milligrams
edible.
of that.
Yeah.
Bro, a fucking edible te tumba.
Everybody
gacho,
tells me
güey.
that they stay high for 2-3 days with an edible and panic y todo el pedo.
There's no
There's no
man, That's like
regulation.
a religious experience, bro. When you eat you eat too much of it, because bro, you feel like the world's gonna fucking end.
See,
bro.
that's why we don't do that shit because we're scared of that shit.
Pero no, I mean, if you know, like, if you're conscious, okay, I'm just high, really, really fucking high, then you'll be over it, but you'll be like fucking like.
Oh, I don't know.
See,
I don't know because I've had experiences, like I'm an overthinker and
Oh, that'll fuck you up.
yeah, dude, I've had an experience like the first time I got high, I swear that I was never gonna do it ever again in my life.
But you know the thing is
Because
that
I almost called the cops
No,
on
mames.
myself. I'm serious.
when
I'm
you
serious.
start
Oh,
smoking
shit.
weed and you get a little bit of high,
Yeah.
it feels good,
yeah.
and you're like, okay, I'm good with that. You know, I never felt like I need to get higher. You know,
Yeah,
I
okay.
feel like
Little head change.
I like the comfort that it gives me just with a few hits, and I'll keep doing a few hits here and there. But like to sit down and smoke a joint is like fuck. It's like I'm trying to end my night or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? If I smoke too much, like it's not even a lot, I feel that I wake up more groggy the next day or dragging my feet more, dragging my ass.
Yeah.
I do feel that it stays in my system, which is I don't mind it because
Yeah.
dude, it allows me to rest really nicely.
Sí,
That was
güey.
primarily the first reason why I started smoking is to rest. And but I did notice that my day slowed down as well.
Oh shit. Now
know?
so you guys, I'm assuming you guys don't use it in the creative process cuando están grabando.
I can't.
I don't
Never.
even drink
I
beer
can't.
when I do music.
I can't.
See, I can't drink beer when I'm in the studio, but I can smoke, but I can't drink beer. I feel like it helps me more.
You know
like,
what's
pay more attention.
Interesting about that though, because I like to listen to music in my studio, regular
Yeah.
music, not my music.
Yeah.
just to hear, what they're doing, whatever sonically and all that
Yeah.
shit, learn. But when I smoke weed and I hear my music, it sounds better.
Yeah. Oh, see.
And that's what I'm scared of, that if I'm smoking weed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And
You're
I
like,
think
this is
and this is badass, and then the next day is gonna be shit.
yeah.
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Okay.
Now, if I try to get into a creative, see, because there's a difference in creativity for me.
Yeah.
When I'm writing, I cannot be on anything. I gotta be
Yeah.
like sober as shit. I gotta be focused. Like I really put a lot of emphasis in the creativity of it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys hear, but it's how it feels like to me. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
right, my voice pitches and all that shit. And if I have a beer or if I smoke,
You overthink it.
it starts to give me a headache because my brain wants to stay sharp, but the beer wants to, no, like if the beer wants to tranquilizarme, es como que me empieza a dar la cruda, güey.
Sí, sí,
Like
sí.
right there and then, so I can't.
Also, so I'm like you. If I drink, I get headaches.
I get a headache.
If I stop like really like abruptly, me da un pinche dolor de cabeza, and yeah, my day is like done and shit.
Yeah, so I can't fuck with the creative part of it, but to listen back, yeah, I go and I hear to see what the fuck I came up with while I was feeling that way, and now I'm a little high. You know, I've had a few drinks, so my mode is completely different. But I can't. I used to be able to lay lyrics, while we were drinking and write and drink and lay lyrics the same fucking time, but it was a different type of creative process because we were in a group of people.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me
It
and
was
him.
an environment.
So when you're in an environment and it's a trust thing, like nobody's tripping on nobody, it just gives you that comfort of who cares if I fuck up and everything, and it becomes more of a playful game. But when it turns into the business, and now this is for real, it's like, okay, all right, everybody stop fucking around. I'm gonna record.
it's time to work.
Shut the fuck up. You start laying down rules. So I think that's what happened to me. So now I write and lay vocals during the daytime.
Okay.
Because in the evening, si vamos a ir a tocar, or if I'm just gonna mellow out, it's my drink time. It's my smoke time.
Yeah, it's the time. Yeah, you chill out. You're done.
Yeah,
with the day.
yeah. I separate the both of them now.
Yeah. So what's your work ethic like? You guys, me imagino que tú, you've always done the studio
It's
stuff.
el DJ.
I'm his DJ.
Yeah. And you're the lyricist.
Is Eric being Rakim?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that it never got boring. I would say making music, from the process of starting from making beats to mixing and mastering, it has become a learning curve for me throughout the whole thing, from something that I love so much, music.
Yeah. You don't feel like you're working then.
No. I mean, and I listen to shit all, like I love being in there. I love trying to do new shit with new gear and all that. You know how that shit goes.
Yeah.
It's just endless.
Yeah,
It's endless. Combinations are endless, and you hear a song from a certain artist and you're like, fuck, how did they do that? And you go and you're like, try to mimic that, and you try to put everything together in your next project,
Yeah. And I think you never stop learning either, because there's people that if they say, oh, yo ya sé todo, like, ahí te cierras, ¿no? And if you continue to learn on a daily basis or on every album, on every song, I think that your music grows with you, porque de otra forma te estancas.
Yeah.
I think that's super important.
I think the only process for me, as far as our work and what we do, is I hate the writing process.
That's the part
That's
you don't
the
enjoy.
worst part for me. It's like there's no fun in that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like my favorite.
But that's what I mean. Like to me, I want to be doing something with audio
with
or
audio.
the music or or the idea or whatever. But the writing,
what's funny?
area of it.
Like hearing you guys, like you guys have the same ambitions and the whole gear thing. I can't do just one thing. Like I hadn't been in the studio probably in months.
oh well, we haven't
And-
recorded
and-
together.
No, right.
Since
But
when?
I'm saying, and he's in there every fucking day. Every fucking
That's
day.
passionate.
Like you. Right.
Yeah.
But for instance, I have a passion for a lot of things, but I cannot do it consecutively. I think I have a disorder, probably ADD or some bullshit like that. Because I have to continuously jump from one thing to the next, and the project re-excites me again. Like I just recently got back in, we're writing and we're producing some stuff again. So I'm, oh shit, fuck, I forgot I had all this gear up here,
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, and I did this and I ordered some new shit y todo el pedo. So I get into it, but this time will come and it'll pass, and then I'll go back to the fish tank, or I'll go back to the woodwork, or I'll go back to doing this. So I have like multiple things that my mood really, I can't just do one thing. It doesn't bore me, pero se le va la magia, the fun, how you say, it doesn't feel
part.
like it starts feeling like fucking homework.
It's better to, it's better to just,
feels that way to me.
it's just better, it's better to stop and then just try it again another time, no?
Yeah, but no, like when I'm into the writing, like I'm inspired. Like
this guy can write. He could write full songs like in fucking an hour.
Nice.
Right, and to me, to write like my 16 bars, fuck, I gotta take a nap in between, bro.
And the reason I can't,
that's crazy.
I think the reason it happened to me that way, because I'm telling you, my brain is like constantly like on and off, and when I'm writing, if I don't lay those fucking vocals and I go and I get sidetracked by anything, I'll come back and I won't know the fucking flow.
That's true.
Oh,
So I record myself every time. I had a little recorder. I use the phone. But every time, if I'm gonna go leave from where I'm writing, I have to record myself. So when I get back, I'll hear myself where I'm at. Porque se me olvida todo el pedo, güey. Tengo que empezar de nuevo.
No, man.
So,
you have to, that little voice note, no?
Yeah, so yo cuando me manda la música y yo en caliente escribo y en caliente la tengo que plantar, and do the best that I can just in case. And then I'll come back to it and start brushing up on shit, but I rarely change a line or a lyric or words. I hardly ever change anything.
Shit. So you're solid when you go in there. Ya sabes, tienes tu plan.
As I'm flowing,
originally, that was him. He was just the MC. I would just make the music, and eventually, for whatever reason, I decided I wanted to rap too.
Yeah.
Por los pinches cheques, güey.
Like, why are your bigger than mine?
Me dijo, carnal, ¿cuánto te están pagando a ti?
Y ni supe la bronca que me metí, güey. Aquí estoy, güey, tratando de escribir una canción, güey, como por una semana, güey.
I like to leave. I write también poquito, pero también I have, my phone is full of first verses. That's it, bro. De ahí,
Combine them.
I know, you know what? Pero hay veces que uno es de un corrido, otros de una historia de amor, otros de una cumbia. I'm gonna have to fucking do
Mine is full of song ideas.
Full
of song ideas.
Oh, my voice notes are full of tonadas.
You know where a lot of my ideas, I mean, you've heard our music, right? You're familiar with it, but my best writing abilities have come from the Discovery Channel, the animals.
What the fuck?
I remember you said that, and
I told him.
How?
I remember he said that to me once. No, actually, he said that when he wrote it, when I heard it, because the name of the song was Insectos Sociales.
Okay.
And you hear his verse is pretty much like a Discovery Channel in Spanish, talking about how insects do certain things and shit. But we're referring obviously to individuals, and and it just, and I hear that and I'm like,
I'm gonna give you the formula, right? Because it's not a big deal. Everybody can figure it out. But when you hear, first of all, the people that speak on the Spanish Discovery Channels or the Animal Planet and shit like that, they have a different accent, almost, and they're very well spoken. So they're educated and their vocabulary is extensive.
Yeah.
And they speak in a lot of metaphors. So when you can take the behavior of a creature and interpret it metaphorically into your music, your whole game plan is already set for you.
See what weed does?
Damn. No, this is before weed. This is before I started smoking
Cocaine's
weed.
a hell of a drug.
No, I'm serious. So I found a format into through educational processes into how to interpret the metaphors into music. In a weird way, I hear the Bible the exact same way. Just to give you an example, right? The Bible, you can, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to say like right. There's people. I've never read the whole Bible, right? But I've learned enough in different verses to understand what it is primarily. But the language, right? The way that they use spirituality in a different way to life lessons that you're learning as you're growing older, and it's like, shit, this verse speaks about that. Not specifically in the way that it's interpreted in real life, but you can hear the philosophy behind it.
Yeah, you
right?
relate it, don't you?
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, that song that we did with Mad Ruckus in your apartments up here in fucking 9th Street.
The one that talks about Ezekiel something.
Ezekiel,
Yeah.
some from the streets. That's
End
because
of
I was
Days.
already.
The song is called End of Days.
End of Days. I had already made reference to the Bible making reference to giants walking amongst humans, and it was on Ezekiel is in that. So I was not a Christian. I was not a talker like that, but I was metaphorically inspired by what that verse said in the Bible.
Oh shit.
You know? And our music has nothing to do with that. So yo soy pinche filósofo, güey.
Not bad, bro.
Y
Hell
ando
yeah.
bien filoso.
Andas bien marihuana.
Ando bien- Aparte, ¿verdad? Filósofo y marihuana, that's a deadly combination,
Right?
man. Yeah, bro.
Take over the world with
So
that
you
shit.
be watching all the Discovery Channel stuff.
Well, I watch a lot of I like a lot of technology and stuff. You know, so like air disasters, pilots, and stuff
shit.
like that. You know,
I'm more of a pyramids guy.
Se la pasa
fucking
paniqueando este güey.
Yeah, ancient ruins. That's me. Ancient ruins. I'm right now. Estoy fucking super mega clavado with the pyramid shit.
You talking
dog.
about the History Channel stuff like that?
Yeah. Oh, no mames, güey. Me cago.
okay, but
love
I
that
want
shit,
you guys
dog.
to remember when we only had PBS.
Yeah.
Where you would watch probably one program per weekend, where you would watch probably the Electric Company or some fucking bullshit Spider-Man.
Sesame Street.
Right? No, this was where your educational channels were. This was not like a Sesame Street or a
You had to
Elmo.
put it on La U.
This
and
was
then
where
put it on channel
you would
23.
get
You see the blurry pornos.
Yeah.
you would get a little bit of science, a little bit of animals,
Yeah.
a little bit of world news every once in a while, once a week. So now we have the fucking History Channel, Discovery Channel. Now we're spoiled.
I remember
Now
I
it's-
used to be hooked on the History Channel.
yeah, bro.
Fucking shit.
I love
watched
that shit.
all their
Ancient
series.
aliens.
Oh,
See, I
fuck,
can.
used to
You
watch-
guys,
I used to
are
watch that
brothers.
shit religiously.
I still
Fucking
love that shit, dog.
I don't
them
watch it
over and
anymore,
over.
but I
Te
used
digo,
to.
los voy a esperar al carro mejor, güey. Estos güeyes se hicieron
bro.
pareja, güey.
Hey, that
Yes.
shit is real, man.
Ya somos
That shit
novios.
is real.
No, lo estoy confesando.
No, pues yo ando reasustado de lo bien que ando, güey.
Nah, bro, pero all that shit, la neta, te pone a pensar. Like, I watch all that shit and me clavo and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Y see como esto, like, especially if you hear the commentators, they talk all these with their little accents. Some are British, some are
But
fucking.
the thing is that is, you know, getting back to the point was that is where I get inspired to write and what I'm going to write about. Aunque sea una pinche canción de desamor.
Yeah.
You know, so my dive in is deep, you know, but I like writing a lot of metaphors, you know, and I really like to not just say something that's right there in your face. It's like if you really pay attention to what I'm saying, there's always something under what I've said, you know, and these type of programs allow me to maneuver the lyric, you know, to paint a different picture. Sometimes, I mean, I picture myself making a painting with my lyrics because I can envision the things that I'm saying and they're real, you know. I'll give you an example, right? About 8 years ago, I had a fucking meltdown. Like my brain gave up, right? I had like a nervous breakdown is probably what a lot of people call it. And
He looked it up on the internet.
Yeah.
you know, it was primarily we had to understand what the fuck was happening, right? To me at that point. And, you know, to reconfigure how your fucking brain works, how you process things, you know, I started looking into everything, the way I tackled problems.
Yeah.
You know, it was just overwhelming, I think. And what was the fucking point that we were trying to get
Stop
to?
smoking weed, Sergio.
I know. I told you it's the weed.
Your brain fart.
Right. But in regards to the fucking lyrics
To
and writing
writing?
patterns.
Yeah.
Right. So anyhow, you know, my way of thinking really has more of a depth to writing. You know, I've always want to be able to give a lot more, but very real, but without telling you, oh, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Like if you want to know, you got to figure it out.
There's a song that we haven't released. It's called Odio. His verse on that song reflects exactly what was, because he would have it would come back like and it started diminishing throughout the years little by little, but he would have episodes, you know, consistently, periodically throughout the month or throughout the week. So there's a verse on that song where, you know, because he used to call me and we used to talk and, you know, the shit he would tell me and I had to listen because in reality, he was all there, and we had to make him understand that the shit's there. Like what he's thinking is not really happening.
Yeah,
but it wasn't hallucination.
No,
Yeah,
it wasn't like
it wasn't
that.
like
it was
that.
just anyhow, that verse, it has a thing about that moment. You can hear it in his lyric because
Yeah.
it says things that is like, what the fuck are you thinking about? Like to come up with what you're saying with metaphorically,
where his mindset
right?
was at the
metaphorically,
at the moment, right?
how it works to what he was going through, but to fit the song. But you hear that verse and it's like you really can't make sense of it unless you knew what was going on.
Yeah. There's people that will identify with it, because they know exactly what I'm metaphorically speaking about.
Yeah.
But to the regular individual, it sounds like it says, oh, well, he was driving in his car, he stopped at a red light, he hit his blunt, and then he put it down, and then the light turned green, and then he took off. But the depth in that verse that explains what the fuck I was really going through in that process, at that moment, it was like, I can't believe I was able to express that lyrically without making it sound like I'm sending a fucking medical
I
message.
hear it. I said, this motherfucker's crazy.
But it is some crazy shit.
So definitely the mood you're in affects the way you write.
100%.
100%.
100%, yeah. If we're fucking around right now, you say, let's fuck around, and it's still fucking early and it ain't 10, I'll be like, fuck yeah, let's go, and we'll have fun and we'll create some crazy shit. But if we're in the daytime and we ain't smoking and we ain't doing nothing, and you tell me that shit, like, you know what, wait, pues haz la música y me voy a poner, like, the mood will be completely different.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, especially for the people that are like writers and for the creative process, I think mood is everything. Even fucking lighting, bro. Lighting, if it's too bright,
true.
Que pedo, you put nice little.
To me,
soft lights.
mixing has a lot to do with the mood.
Vibe is everything, brother. And I can see. Aquí, I feel like when people come here, I like to keep the lights dim para que la gente se sienta un poquito más a gusto.
Que se encuentren las
Hagan
viejas.
caras, que se encuentren las viejas. Chica, I'm just playing.
I'm over here listening like,
Que se encuentren las no pasa nada. No, puro pedo.
No, but that to me, honestly, was one of the greatest. It was a horrible experience, right? It was the worst thing I think I've been through.
Yeah.
Psychologically. But without bullshit, I can't believe I fucking went there and came back. I can't believe that I had such a fucking breakdown and experienced a part of life that the majority of people will never fucking know. It's almost like the people that say like, oh, me morí y reviví, pero vi la luz y luego me vino.
Yeah.
It sounds like that.
Yeah.
But no, güey, esto es vivirlo en vida, and it was like him. Como te dice, I was coherent. I knew I had to wipe my ass. I got to eat. I got to put shoes on. Like everything was fine. I can conversate. But my experience internally, the way that I was feeling it, it was like, nah, you can't tell me you're imagining that shit. It's like, dude, I'm not seeing shit.
Dude,
I'm not hearing shit, but I could feel my blood flow through my body.
One time we were at an airport. I forgot where it's probably
Denver.
somewhere. Denver. This motherfucker couldn't go through security, dude.
Oh,
he just couldn't go through it.
I couldn't leave my house for years.
Like I was like, dude, we gotta get through this shit, just to get on, to the other side, to our plane, to go home. And he was like, fuck.
I couldn't. And it was like when you're walking your dog and all of a sudden that motherfucker stops. You're like, come on. It was like that. It was like I would stop and I'm like, I can't. Something's like it's a fear of nothing.
Yeah,
you experience
like anxiety.
True,
but that's what
anxiety is after, dude.
That's what I mean. That you have to, whatever way you can is like it ain't what you're feeling. It ain't happening, bro.
I couldn't get out of the house. I couldn't drive because if I would get stuck in traffic, I was gonna die. After I started driving again, I couldn't be like in a McDonald's drive-through. I couldn't. And a car get behind me.
Oh, I love it.
Fucking game over, dude.
Fuck.
No way. It was hard. It was hard. I couldn't get out of my house. I didn't sleep. I wasn't sleeping for fucking nada, güey. Ni una hora, ni media hora, nothing for days. After not sleeping, and I was already able to get out of the house, like to go on walks with this guy, I was beginning to hallucinate like spots because of my lack of sleep. And I wasn't eating. So he had me on a liquid diet, and I didn't tell nobody about
that's
it.
when I introduced him to blackberries.
Oh, shit.
He was the one that brought blackberries to my house.
And I also told him, try some weed.
Try some weed.
And
So you turned
That's
him on?
when he started.
Yeah.
That's when he started
Órale,
smoking weed.
I mean, you know Iris, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows
Oh,
what time
yeah.
is Iris. What's up, man?
Yeah. Iris
So
is
anyhow,
fun.
she had
What's
told
up, Iris?
she was my therapist for a while because she had went through it.
Hey, she's a badass therapist,
Right.
bro. She has the best, like, you can have the deepest conversations
She's
with
a
her,
great
dude.
person.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
you know, so she was my support system
Yeah.
when I was going through it like that, you know. But when it was really, really hard at the beginning, it was this guy that was there trying to configure what was going on. You know, I drove myself like 2-3 times to the emergency room faking heart attacks so they could check me out.
Fuck.
I did that shit. And when they would tell me I was fine, I said, so there's fucking nothing wrong. There's nothing. How do you know? Because I said, what if I was having a heart attack? He said, we would know. I said, what if it was last week? He said, we would know because it would show on your AKG or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck it's called. And
That's
then
a
I was
microphone.
Yeah.
like, you know, so I
And I'm
went
like,
through
yeah.
it, bro. I went through it. And finally, you know, I was able to start breathing again when we started traveling. It was
Yeah.
really hard for me to go through security. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Hold
Time's
on.
up. Time's up.
Oh shit! What is that?
We were
Some timer.
we were taking off, I think, from Vegas one time, and you know, it was during this the summertime.
And this was where you guys were on tour, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
You know, I got back on the horse. He did like 2 shows by himself or something like that. So anyhow, the airplane was taking off. You know, this is below 10,000 feet, and the turbulence hit, and you can't get off your seat. I didn't give a fuck, dude. I'll fucking get up my motherfucking seat and go in the bathroom and fucking breathe. And the flight attendants would be like, you know, you gotta go fucking sit down. Be like, you sit the fuck down. Like, I'm good, bitch. Like, you don't want me out there right now. You know, like, it was hard.
Hello, this motherfucker.
It was hard, man.
bro.
And that's why getting back to Iris, her and this guy was the one that told me, you know, tried smoking weed. And I'm like, you know, you guys are fucking crazy. I mean, I'm feeling crazy as shit. And you want to get me high? Give me a fucking break. One time I couldn't put up with it. You know, I was having it really bad at home. You know, I was homebound for months, years. And he had left that joint right there. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to try it, güey. Right? So yo me metí al garage, güey, le di un jaloncillo.
He closed all the blinds so nobody
Nunca había fumado, yo, right? Y me senté en el sofá a ver tele, a ver si se me pasaba el pedo. Y empecé a sentir una ansiedad, güey. Pero una pinche ansiedad de acá para acá. Y dije, fuck, ¿para qué le hice caso? Hijo de su puta madre, me mató. Y luego, güey, the opposite happened. The fucking tranquility kicked in. And my brain shenanigans went away. Like something turned off. Le bajaron al jabón, güey.
Yeah.
And I was able to focus on one thing again. I was able to watch TV. I couldn't even watch TV. This guy tried to make me watch some fucking new comedy show. ¿Quién era? Kevin Hart, his new stand-up. And as soon as he turned it on and the lights started going and he ran on stage, I just felt like, fuck up, like turn off the motherfucking TV. I couldn't.
Fuck. So you had it bad.
I had it bad.
Bro, so what were you, so you guys were not making music in that?
No. Well, not necessarily, but we had, ya habíamos encaminado, which is now El Atraco.
Atraco.
And like the same ways we've been doing that slowly here and there. Like we released the first half of it. We're going to release the second half soon. So that whole album we started recording it in 2014 and we still haven't released it all.
Damn.
But all that circumstance was stress related. All that circumstance was stress related, you know. So I changed my life completely, and I'm not talking about diet. You know, I've exercised my whole life. You know, I've always
and he
done
got
something.
a dog.
Yeah.
But you know, I really that time when I was really bad, my recovery when I was able to get out of the house was fishing. I fished every day for an entire year, non-fucking stop. Every fucking day.
That was like your therapy then.
No estudio, no grabar.
Lo ibas a visitar, güey, y
nada,
regalaba carpas ese güey.
Yo regalaba pescados.
He had his fridge full of fucking like frozen.
I shit you not.
bagged
Here's a
fish.
trout.
Yeah.
I turned into one of the baddest motherfucking fishermen in the world.
Here's a tuna. Ahi tuna for you.
There's a fishing championship of Moreno Valley.
No, nevertheless, you know, my respect for brain chemistry changed my aspect into the actual power that your brain has. You don't realize how well tuned you are until some little fucking shit fails.
Hey, the brain will fuck you up, bro. You imagine you feel something, you check on Google or WebMD, and then you, oh shit, I said I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Like, y luego all the fucking things, todos los symptoms, that's exactly what I feel. No mames, güey, tengo cáncer en el culo. I don't know what the fuck. Like, it's like that, bro. The brain's a fucking powerful ass too, bro. I mean, igual para mal, para bien, you know?
So learning to regulate it was the trick. That's eliminating the stress to the fullest. You know, I used to blow my top over fucking everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my work ethic has always been, you know, all or fucking nothing. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a downtime. I didn't have a chill time. You know, I was continuously, and you know, it snuck up behind me. I never seen it coming.
You were in artist mode nonstop, no?
Yeah.
But you guys, I remember when you
not
guys
only that, but he was doing artist and he was also managing us.
And administrating.
It was like the entire
shit. It was like
it's always been mainly him. Yeah, we had labels here and there, but you know, as far as our end, you know, it's just been me and him. So at the time, it was basically when we had left already Univision and all that whole shit there, and we had started dealing on our own, and that's, you know, little by little that caught up to him because it began to be too much.
It is. I mean, it is a lot.
I didn't even ask. Am I allowed to drink on your show?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'm over here trying to hide and shit.
No.
So I think that it was a real stressful time, you know, because, you know, reggaeton comes in and the label automatically switches gears, and you know, it's like all of a sudden, you know, you're side B now. We're gonna put you on hold for a little bit while we work on this shit. So not only that,
it feels like your first day on the job and they give you a book this thick and they say, "Here, handle it."
Yeah.
That's what the load.
You know,
like.
we started seeing that shit and all that. So we were okay with whatever happened. You know, it wasn't a thing where we were like, no, we gotta stay here, gotta figure something out. It was just we fell on going on our own, and it wasn't that. It was more of that it was a struggle. It was more like fucking adjusting. You know, and him handling all that shit.
How did you guys adjust to the whole fucking shift in the music? Because from when, you know, back in the day to what it is now, that shit is a completely different world.
Especially for the artists that are still making music after that shift is like,
I see it like this. The artists that were only artists are the ones that got fucked. Yeah. Because if you didn't learn anything along the way, you know, that was then just a joyride. Enjoy the fucking limo rides. Enjoy the stay at the fucking Suavitel over there in fucking Miami. You know, whatever it was, Suavitel.
Everybody stayed at the Suavitel.
Because that shit lasts as long as you experience.
We used to party with Jenny Rivera at the Suavitel.
So you know, we were enjoying what we were doing, but at the same time, we were picking up as much as we can. Yeah. That's the way I approached it. Yeah. You know, so by the time everything starts to fall apart, it's like, all right, you know, we just have to make certain adjustments, but we're right in the game. And, you know, I remember when YouTube was first coming around, nobody was hip to that shit.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You know, there were a lot of changes that were going to begin to be implemented into the systems, but we were already tampering with them on the sides. You know, we were the first fucking group to ever have a fucking website before we were signed. You know, we were, you know, veníamos ya del mercado americano, right? So ya veníamos correteados. They were a little bit more ahead, you know, by some years.
Yeah.
So when we come down into the regional Mexican industry, it's like, shit, it's a piece of cake.
Now, you know?
So you guys
started...
Bife was mastering everything in his backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 masters for fucking day or a million.
Yeah.
You know? But it was like the times changed and we were...
adapting.
We were adapted. We adapted pretty smoothly.
Ustedes empezaron en inglés, like from the Anglo world? That's how you guys had albums like that first, and then...
Our whole first two albums were as juvenile style in English. Oh, three. Sorry. All inspired living around this area.
Yeah.
You know, it talks about all that shit and what we used to do. But I was telling him the other day, because I no matter how old my shit is, like I put it in my shuffle.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it, come on whenever you want and I'll know if I want to hear that shit, right? So the other day I got some shit from 1995, the Burden South Central album. So we recorded that at the Black Hole on Rosecrans and...
Oh shit!
Over there,
Kenny McLeod was engineer.
With both, Easy used to record there and shit. Like, it was like one of those classic.
Was it in Compton?
Yeah. No. It was in South Bay, Hawthorne.
Hawthorne. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so Man, you hear that? I was hearing that song and I was like, what the fuck are we saying and why are we saying that shit? But it was the environment way. O sea,
you're in.
it was it was black people. That was all that was in there, and it was me and him, and they would help us. Like Mace Man used to play us playing bass. Kenny McLeod used to help us with the keyboard. Like,
oh shit,
the beats I used to take in there were all off key, and he used to tune it. He was like, "Look, this is off key. Like, I don't hear that shit, you know." Just that's what I sample and that's what it is. But he used to they helped us a lot. They groomed us a lot in that studio to learn a little bit more about what
and this was way. I mean, was it when Quebradita was even happening?
No, this was
this is before all that. It's before the big boom. So we already had some good experience with some true musicians.
Yeah.
That did this, like you do for a living and stuff, that knew the ins and outs. And to us, it was like, wow, this is fucking cool. We didn't realize how much of an education we were picking up.
Yeah.
For
sure.
So when we got into the game, con la industria regional mexicana, I was like, damn, y'all still back there?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, okay. And the funny argument that they all say is, no, es que en el regional mexicano así se trabaja. And it's like, pero así no es, cabrones. Lo hacen más difícil.
Yeah.
Entonces yo empecé a pelear especialmente con pichis promotores, güey. No, es que en el regional mexicano sí trabajábamos. Pues a mí me va la verga, güey. Me debes y me vas a pagar y si no, pues no te voy a hacer. It's like you start seeing like, okay, just because they say this is how you do it, it doesn't mean that it's fucking even legal.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro.
And like the whole thing of sampling in English, you can't get away with a fucking sample in English.
Oh definitely.
After the first people got busted and the shit became legit, it's like you can't just fucking take a sample because you're gonna end up in court and your shit gonna get pulled off the shelves.
But in the regional se usa.
In the regional, like
nobody gives a fuck.
No hay pedo.
No hay pedo.
Nobody gives a fuck.
But it's wrong. But they don't see it like it's wrong. They just say nobody because that's how we do it.
That's how we do it.
Well, because I'm sure they see it as okay. Well, that'll work for my song. Go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
I think even in sampling in English, it does the same thing, but their mentality is
it's a different mentality.
It's because in Mexico nobody sues nobody, man. But over here they sue.
They fucking sue for everything, dog. So how did you guys originate your sound? Because you guys were the first ones basically to tie the regional with the urban. I mean, everyone, when I heard you guys come out with No Hay Manera,
right?
I was like, what the fuck is this? It just
we weren't even high, dude. That shit was sober as shit. That album was so
because you know what? I there's sometimes when you hear the fusions, whatever style of music with this style of music, pero no se oye natural a veces. Your shit sounded like it was like.
You know what gave it that? The live brass.
The live brass.
We were in the studio, like, because everything that we did in my fucking apartment. On a 16 track, a Roland 1680, a digital 16 track, and it was all keyboard and the sample from the Banda Recodo song, right? So my tuba was the simple, so it sounded like whatever, right?
Yeah.
But once, we didn't even know when we turned it in, like we were gonna replace it with real instruments. They were like, okay, now let's take it in the studio, and they brought in the musicians, and we were like, what are we doing, right?
Yeah.
But anyhow. As soon as we heard how the live instruments sounded, we were like, this is different.
Almost,
yeah.
No,
it just gave it that vibe that is like, fuck, it was undeniable.
Yeah, definitely. That shit, it was a completely new fucking sound when it came out. It was like, that shit, it blew a lot of people's minds. I remember I saw you guys at the Premios de la Radio, or maybe it might have been still called that, Premios Que Buena. And you guys had this big ass stage, and you guys came on, and you guys like just tore the fucking place
Cuando
down.
sí nos querían. Solo pegarse.
And I remember that shit, and I was like, what the fuck? These guys are fucking otro pedo. Right there, I still didn't know you guys.
We still are otro pedo.
Yeah. Right there, in ese momento, that shit was shocking. Like, what the fuck?
It had a lot of shock value to it because of what it was. It was rap, and it was with fucking banda, and it was like, oh shit. And it wasn't whack.
Yeah, it wasn't whack at all.
It was because I till this day, people are still trying to make banda rap, and it's like, fuck.
Soy forzado.
And it's like,
lo que te digo es soy forzado, and I guess they don't know how to marry it together, and that's where the fucking magic is. That marrying those two sounds together.
That's
the magic.
That's what we've been trying to explain to these motherfuckers for the past 20 years. But look at all the shit they signed. It was like, no es lo mismo. Sí, es rap con banda. Ah, váyanse a la verga.
But you know, we've never been with the mindset of, fuck, no.
Mira, güey, ahora todos son raperos, güey, con banda.
Güey.
Todos. Los que cantaban banda ahora hacen rap banda.
Nosotros
son
nunca la intención era de, vamos a ser el pinche número uno, we're gonna be the best, los más chingones. It was always about the music.
Yeah.
It was primero lo de la música. So to me, que salga quien quiera, whatever, I know that what we did is original. And it gave us our identity. Until this day, we hold that identity who we are, and our music represents us.
And it paved the way, no?
We don't fucking talk and say, oh, we do this, we do that. Our music is what it is. We're not on social media saying, oh, you gotta like this shit or check
Yo
this
sí, güey. Yo cuando me subo al social media, yo sí digo todo eso.
No, but you know what I mean?
En su MySpace se sube diario.
I appreciate more the reaction of the people, whether they say it's whack or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I get it, it's cool, but the people that still heard us on the first day and say that till today, we maintain that. To me, that's important.
Yeah,
Igual,
those fans.
You know, it's not
que
even...
digamos que yo me enamoré del pinche primer disco de Voces del Rancho, right? Y me doy cuenta que voy a sacar un disco nuevo. Y lo sacas y te escuchas ahora la música diferente, like, como lo de hoy. Es like, ya no eres Voces.
No,
eres Voces del Rancho, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Pero
like,
sin el rancho.
Sin el rancho, yeah.
Ya nomás las
so
voces.
I feel that, you know, I think we've made it a way to transition throughout the years.
Yeah.
And be who we are and do what we do. And we're 100% comfortable with that. You know, we're not.
I think that to add on to guys what you guys were saying about Proyecto Akwid, you know, and even the current music, you know, we've never claimed to be the baddest rappers in the fucking world.
Yeah.
You know, we came up with a motherfucking style of rap, of interpretation, and of music that can't be fucking touched by anybody that hates and says, I could rap better than you, or so-and-so can rap circles around. Yeah, I'm sure they can. You know, I went to an all-black school. I learned how to freestyle in English, primarily. You know, that was my fun at school. And translating it into Spanish, it doesn't work the same. You know, so my freestyling skills in Spanish took a fucking fall, right? But that fucking priming that I got from that industry, you know, and you know, there's rappers that'll fucking rap circles around me all fucking day. Yeah. But if you're not able, you know, you could take a badass fucking rapper, and it's been proven over time, and throw him on the fucking radio, or try to commercialize this motherfucker, try to sell some units, and it ain't gonna happen because a few fucking backpack rappers are gonna buy it, and that's it. Yeah. But to create a fucking product that can go all the way into Tepito, into South Central, into fucking Compton, into Northern California, into the Midwest, into fucking Alaska, and every fucking ghetto in the world, and people identify with the fucking music, the simplicity of the lyric, and the message that's being translated, you know, I say I did something fucking right. You know, we did something correct. You know, the fucking Smithsonian Museum says so. You know, we have a fucking display in the fucking Smithsonian. That's fucking crazy,
dude. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, it's like they said it was our music changed the culture in Los Angeles.
Well, you guys fucking paved the way for everything that's out there now. You know, definitely. That was the first time que yo oí algo que was done that way. Que it fucking had just an impact, and you go from one side, and then the intros and all that shit. It was just a fucking experience.
It's like painting music.
We went to
telling you.
Yeah, the Smithsonian had a display at Caltech, right? At that college where we went to go see our own display. Yeah, and then people were reading it, you know, and to me it was fascinating. Like, you know, these people are reading about
something. It's like, we didn't even want to do a fucking interview on TV or on the radio, you know?
Como así, aquí estamos, nosotros somos.
And it's like, oh shit.
Yo hice eso.
That type of acknowledgement you can't fucking pay for.
No.
You know, we didn't know, nobody knew, the publicists knew, the label, nobody knew. They did that shit on their own, you know, and it's like, all right, we are, in a matter of fact, we're in a fucking Spanish textbook in the fucking schools. I bought 2 books off of fucking eBay. I couldn't believe it myself, and I bought them.
Was it a reading? What was it? Reading books? It's LA Unified School District book.
Yeah, it's a cultural book about arts.
Yeah.
You guys got immortalized
And
in there.
we got
So you know, and just adding on to what he's saying is like we never brag about this shit.
Yeah.
You know, those that know, and those that don't, no hay pedo, you know. But when we were first started the conversation earlier, when we said, you know, that we don't really realize what's happening at the moment because it's so much shit, you know, it's those little pullback moments that you have where, you know, I don't even know how. One of my sisters, fucking baby daddy or something like that, got one of their kids send a picture of a textbook from school, and we were in it, and I'm like, that's some bullshit. Let me look at it. I said, shit, let me tell her to send me a picture of the textbook. Like, what is it? And I looked it up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's legit. It's like, where did that come from?
Those are
Who the fuck licensed that picture anyways? Y'all owe me.
It's like one of those things, like when we began the conversation that you don't realize till after. Like sometimes you talk to artists and they're thriving. You know, they say, man, one day I'm gonna get Graminated to the Nomi's. And
Graminated. That's a good one. Y'all got Graminated.
Like nominated to the Grammys?
Wait, Graminated to the Nomi's.
Yeah.
Nominated to the Grammys, right?
You don't want to drink some Henny right now.
A lot of people thrive for that.
Oh yeah,
and you know, we've been nominated for 5.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Consecutive.
And it's like when I think about shit like that, it's like, okay, you know, yeah, I met this guy and he's doing pretty good, and this guy is doing good, but you know, the industry has not recognized your work. Yeah.
When it's into when your peers recognize that.
When your peers,
you savor it a little more, no?
Not only that, you know, it's like, okay, and I see what they nominate, you know, just to get an idea, and I understand categories and how, you know, certain ways, certain things, but we were never considered, you know, for example, you know, it's like the genres that they put us in, alternative rock, you know, they couldn't find the fucking genre.
They couldn't find
shit.
The genre for you.
The billboards didn't have a fucking genre, so they had to invent fucking Latin hip hop to give us an award, you know? We won Regional Mexican Album of the Year on Billboard in 2004 with rap.
With rap.
With
fucking Regional Spanish Mexican rap. Album.
So, you know, it's like now that I pay attention a little bit more to that stuff, is like, fuck, you know, that a lot of that shit had a lot of meaning. It's still, I mean, to this day, but, you know, it's like, fuck, we accomplished so much. And I personally don't feel that we appreciate it. I appreciate it at the time when it was happening.
Because it happens so fast. And it's un día estás haciendo una cosa, the next day you're doing another thing, and the next day another thing. So it's happening so fucking fast. And
by the time you realize you're having a fucking nervous breakdown and a heart attack. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Pump your fucking brakes, man. Slow down.
Yeah, dog. But it's beautiful to
breathe.
Aparte, it's beautiful to have those experiences and have lived them. Because no te cuentan nada, o sea, nada te pantalla, ninguno de, okay, yo te, no.
That's a thing, you know, that I do see, but, you know, don't get me wrong, like, you know, the kids doing their shit this day, you know, all for them, I love a lot of that shit, because a lot of these kids are breaking barriers and trying new shit, you know, they're not
but their attitudes are all fucked up.
That's the only thing, but they're not stuck with traditional stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, they do the social media thing, and I'm like, you're over. I mean, we're not about that shit. So it just looks like that's unnecessary. But I see in today's age, you need to do that.
I think the kids
in social media
have a short attention span right now.
Keep in mind, we did all this shit with no internet.
Right? How the fuck did we do it back then? Like, ¿cómo se?
Fucking fax machines and phone calls.
Fucking streets of pirateria, bro. They were hooking it up.
That's fucking wild, because people ask me, hey, ¿cómo le hacen? I'm like, fuck, I don't remember.
No,
like,
it's actual legwork.
But it was
legwork.
Yeah,
it's
right?
fucking campaigning, flyers,
word of mouth.
And then going to then again going to the TV shows and going to the radio tours and all that shit.
You had to get out there. You can't do that shit in your living room, you know? You can't. You had to wear pants every day.
Ahorita you could do it. Yeah. Ahorita you could do it.
know?
You could do it from your bedroom. You get up and like do a fucking podcast or do it. It's so
Zoom,
fucking weird.
Fucking Zoom meeting and shit.
Now, touching on that.
Telling you, none of these motherfuckers are good to go to la guerra right now,
like
bro.
right now, the music, there's dudes that are releasing up to 2 songs a week sometimes. And they're doing that shit. Or a song a week, a week. What do you guys feel about that?
I have no fucking respect for people that do that. I don't think that they're in it because they have a passion for it, because something that, you know, you can't paint the fucking Mona Lisa, for example, just because you're fucking around for 2 hours. You know, it's one of those people, I mean, it's definitely those kids that have a motherfucking home studio and they're just knocking shit out. And if not, pues tienen el estudio de papi, you know, that they can use. But in reality, you cannot fucking create something of any kind of fucking substance just like that, farting it out, you know, and that's not trying to insult nobody, but you know, you have artists and then you have fucking people that are just a fucking gimmick.
I feel,
you know, you have the Sade's.
Mhm.
Sade will fucking release you an album whenever the fuck she wants
She's
to every
working on a
fucking
new
6,
one.
10
She's
years,
working on a new
and
one.
every time is a motherfucking smash. That's passion.
I just feel that if you spend a day on a song or two, I'm like, you really wanted me to take this song serious? Like you put all your work and effort into this shit in one day? All right, let me hear this shit. Yeah, you might get lucky, you might do a hit because you got to catch a hook or whatever, but I can't respect that personally. You know?
I think that these people are looking for el éxito, chasing, you know. And it works to an extent, you know, because I don't want to mention any names, but there's people that release a bunch of albums per year.
Yeah.
Y obviamente, ay, mira mi catálogo, cuántos discos tengo. Y sí les entran $10 de cada uno, you know, y eso se va acumulando a través del año. Se juntan unos 1,500 al año, you know, y algo es algo. Pero para que digas, no, pues es que ese pinche artista es de calidad, you know. Tal vez no ha tenido un exitazo, pero todo lo que hace, escúchale su mensaje, escúchale su música, escucha lo que hizo con este clarinete o con este piano. Lo demás es pura pinche mamada, you know. Entonces, respeto no le tengo a ese arte porque ya no es arte, ya es, you know, whatever.
Negocio.
Todos quieren cantar y,
Negocio.
you know, whatever. Pero, you know, este jale no es para todos.
Yeah,
Y
sure.
lo comprueba el tiempo y lo comprueba los que tienen la pasión. Como a ti yo te conocí de hace mucho tiempo, and look at where you're at today. You know what I'm saying? Like, esto habla no nada más de tu hobby, de tu corazón, de dónde tienes sinceramente tu corazón, tus ambiciones, a dónde es donde le estás metiendo más. You know what I'm saying? Todo
Yeah.
eso se ve sin que tú me digas nada, porque
Yeah.
yo te conocí en otro tiempo.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Y ahora esta otra gente que hacen este tipo de producciones, you know, y ya luego el mes que entra ya no traen para la renta otra vez, güey, you know, and it's like, ahora es reggaetón, mañana es pinche tribal, pasado mañana es, you know, como me dijo un compa una vez, ahora le vamos a hacer, este año le vamos a echar a todos, Serge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No queda otra. And I respect that fucking hustle. I
Yeah, for
respect
sure.
the hustle, but not when you got these little fucking loudmouth motherfuckers that are doing that bullshit and then they try to, you know, talk shit on other artists.
I
You know,
think that-
respectable
I
artists.
think that if your
Yeah.
music is respected, you have a chance at longevity. But if your music is accepted just for the moment because it was a hit, you know, 10 years, 20 years from now, they're going to say, oh, I remember that song. And yeah.
I think a lot of these kids are capitalizing on the.
Of course.
Yeah, they're capitalizing and they're releasing. I mean, they're. Obviamente, hay siempre hay malos and there's good ones and bad ones. You know, there's some that I hear that are really good, and they're releasing a lot of shit. A lot of material. But then again, la chamacada de ahorita, the kids that listen to all these songs, they get bored with a song tomorrow.
You know what?
Pero por eso mismo, es porque la misma industria los acostumbra a ese pedo.
You know what's
Porque
more
antes,
upsetting to me about
hold
that?
on, let me
Yeah.
let me do that one real quick. Antes, güey, si tú sacabas un disco, si alguien sacaba un disco, güey, y era difícil para que yo fuera a comprarte tu pinche LP, para
Sí.
empezar, cabrón.
Sí.
You know, un pinche 12-inch LP, y qué es lo que voy a ir a escuchar. You know, pero antes el contenido era calidad. Aunque fueras un artista
Yeah.
madreado, tu
Sí.
grabación era calidad y tu contenido
Tenía
llevaba
que ser
lírica
a
y
huevo.
llevaba algo. güey.
That's what I was going to touch
Yeah,
on.
well, let me do my shit. You know, y eso es lo que marca la diferencia, que yo sé lo que voy a ir a agarrar con mis pinches 10 bolas, 15 bolas, que no va a ser cualquier... Ahorita
$15.99.
te están vendiendo un puto sencillo porque pegó en el YouTube, ¿me entiendes? O sea que ya es una mercadotecnia que acostumbraron a los morros, por eso les pusieron content creators, porque los güeyes que antes pagaban las pinches disqueras baratos Antes pagaban por producciones, antes pagaban por un video de calidad, antes pagaban por un estudio bueno. Ahora con que el pinche morro cagado les entregue su CD y ya trae su video que le hizo su pinche compa, ta 2, 3, eso es lo que venden y eso es lo que están consumiendo, güey. La calidad de la puta música, los MP3s, lo que escuchan en el pinche iTunes, güey, pura pinche cagada en cuestión de el equipo a lo que estás pinche vendiendo tu pinche canción en iTunes, you know, es like, no mamen. You know, ¿dónde está la pinche calidad? Y si están acostumbrados a los pinches sí quemacas a hacer sus mamadas así, güey, what do you expect? What the fuck do you expect?
Today's kids no pueden escuchar la diferencia en un MP3 y en un WAV, güey.
No saben.
That shit is crazy to
That's
me.
crazy. Yeah,
you know, and that's where you take pride in your quality that you do.
Yeah,
Whatever, you know, what you record and shit is like, nah, fuck that. Some kids are okay with that, but they don't hear that, and it's like, you know, that's like, all right. Before, you used to hear albums like, man, that shit sounds fucking
Mira, güey, tú sabes cómo es un pedo masterizar, güey, right?
Sí.
No, estos güeyes masterizan en su pinche sala y ahí está, güey. Y ahí está en el pinche, ahí está en el iTunes y en todas las plataformas a lo que da, güey. El otro día, güey, y esto es verdad, güey, si quiere que me cale, hijo de su pinche madre. Pitbull, en una entrevista, güey, dijo que él antes, y no lo digo exacto, no exacto, porque pues, pero que él ahora graba en el hotel, cuando anda trabajando o ande donde ande, que grabe en el hotel y que de ahí ya sale la música. Dije, ay, güey. All right. ¿Y cómo le haces? Le preguntaron. Dijo, no, pues levantamos los colchones de la cama y hicimos un booty ahí. Yo dije, all right, you know, que se trague esa mamada el que quiera creerle ese pedo. Porque la pinche música, si la sacas así, la neta, es una mamada.
Let me hear the mix.
Right. Es una mierda. Right? Y luego es lo que se está consumiendo, you know. Y no lo digo con ningún tipo de odio, sino que escucharlo de alguien así, yo digo, all right, bro, también no te pases de verga con esa mamada. You know, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a fan of the studio recordings, you know, también con tiempo. I feel like it's kind of... You make music that stands the test of time. That's always my you know?
Yeah.
Pero I always think about the world that we're in right now. La chavalada de ahorita,
they don't give a shit.
They don't give a fuck if you recorded that shit in the biggest fucking studio o si lo grabaste en el baño cagando. Like, they don't give a fuck because they want it tomorrow. They want to do it tomorrow.
Pero eso es lo que le beneficia a la disquera. Yeah. Yo pienso... Excuse me, que la disquera de Sade la han de odiar, güey, porque no saca discos. ¿Me entiendes? Se la pelan. Hasta que ella diga, güey, se la pelan, pero cuando saca algo bueno, you know. Y es una de las mejores artistas que yo pueda usar como ejemplo de lo que estamos hablando.
Sí, güey.
Pero no, ahorita los content creators que tienen las disqueras es que les están cagando música del noche a la mañana y ellos tienen con qué vender, sea lo que sea, ahí no tienen su pinche puesto.
Yeah.
Eso es lo que les interesa. So, a estos morros les están dando una miseria. Y si ellos les pega algo, no, pues qué chingón, pero no saben sinceramente nada del puto negocio, les van a quitar toda la lana y les va a durar su sencillo un pinche mes, 2 meses. No hay artista, no hay un álbum, solamente fue una pinche sensación de una canción, de una copia de algo que ya pegó hace la semana pasada, y ese es un trend. Por eso se llama trend, cabrones. Pero díganme cuál es el último artista que ha hecho la industria. Platíquenme de uno. I mean, los artistas, las posiciones para los productores chidos, para los estudios chidos, para los artistas chidos y los ejecutivos chidos, hay pinches posiciones, hay niveles, ¿me entiendes?
Yeah.
Todo lo demás es va y viene, güey, con el pinche clima.
Like if you look at the Anglo market, pues la mayoría todavía they use big studios, o sea, cuidan mucho the quality, ¿no? The quality de los discos.
I hear that.
Yeah. I think it's more of a regional thing acá con la paisanada.
Cutting corners, man.
Yeah, they cutting corners.
Pero enséñame un pinche José. Enséñame otro Marco Antonio, enséñame otros Tigres, otros pinches Bookies, enséñame a los pinches, a Bronco. Where's that at? You know, enséñame los pinches agrupaciones que sinceramente hacían discos, no por gimmick, no nomás por sacar, sino que porque era lo que representaba toda la agrupación. Desde el artista, el guitarrista, el de las tarolas, a lo que sea, ¿me entiendes? Representan toda una pinche época de música y material que no se acaba, güey.
Yeah.
Y si tú me sacas un pinche sencillo y se me acaba en un mes y necesito que me reinventes el reggaetón o cualquier otra mamada para sacar otro mes, pero ¿dónde está el artista? El artista no lleva ningún respeto. El artista ya no se da a respetar por vender un pinche sencillo y las disqueras les vale verga por vender cualquier mamada y estar haciendo lana, güey.
It's all about the money, no?
Es la pinche neta.
Yeah. What you feel about that,
Yes,
bro?
sir. I agree with him.
Que ahora vamos por todo, güey.
To me, is
Masters y todo,
to me is
güey.
that, you know, mostly about the new generation is that the quality that they could give a fucking, they don't hear that shit or care less about it, you know?
Yeah, no.
Fucking MP3 and a WAV is like, you gotta be fucking shitting me.
And fíjate, and it's crazy because I've met kids that are super famous now que dijeron que they were in their house one day and they fucking recorded a song así in the camera. They put it on YouTube. Next morning they woke up and they had 10 million views. Like, what the
$10 million in their front porch.
That's crazy, although how the fucking internet is such a big ass tool, bro.
Exactly.
Para la plebada de ahorita, it's a fucking tool. I mean, you could do good and you could do bad with it, pero it's definitely a fucking tool, you know?
Yeah, but again, look, I see it almost like smoke and mirrors because you have to stop it with the fucking numbers and turn it into fucking dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could push a fucking single before a physical single and it'll make you more fucking money than your fucking million downstreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same shit and people don't understand that. The people that are fucking here talking about my numbers and my this and that's like, show me the fucking money. Where does it fucking translate? Where, you know, where, show me, you know, it's not doing anything. But look at how many streams. Look at how many downloads. It's like, that's fucking great. How much are you getting per download?
Okay.
You know, how much are you really making? And they don't care about that because I'm telling you, the times have changed so much that they've made this game so fucking simple, you know, that anybody sitting at home can make a few dollars without getting out their fucking house, without doing a damn thing, you know, and I think that's devalued the industry completely, not just in music, but in everything. You know, if the fucking hard work ain't there, the actual sweat, you know, you're just fucking pelándotela a ver qué pasa, güey.
That's some true artist shit right there, dog. True artist speaking right there, dog.
La primera vez que nos tocó trabajar en un mes que era un Neve.
Yeah.
With flying faders and shit. We were scared of that shit.
Why, dog?
I remember, no se me olvida esta madre, güey. La canción de Pobre Compa. When it starts, and then everything drops. Like, I wanted to do that drop, you know, like that. Y les tenía un pinche miedo a los faders. And it was Federico, some Argentinian guy that we used to work with. He used to be in a band in the 60s and shit like that. So he knew how the shit worked. Y llega y dice, no, mira, chico, nomás se agarra y le bajas cuando dan like that. And I was like, fuck, you know, I was just scared to pull that shit out hard, but it was a crazy experience to
move with the flying faders.
To move up to that from, you know, from those 1680 like this, you know, with no, I mean, it was just a hard drive and recorder and shit. Pero,
I'm going that to a real studio.
Yeah, it was like, fuck, era otro pedo, güey.
Yeah,
I fell in love with that shit more, you know, because of that.
That's like going into the big leagues, no? Ya cuando llegas a un estudio de veras and you're like, mira nomás,
all the toys you could
need,
want,
bro.
And you know,
yeah, I still fucking flip out when I go to other studios. I mean, I like my studio here, you know, I have all my toys here, but when I go to other studios, I'm always, yo a todo le muevo, cabrón, me vale verga. Like, I like to fucking move all the buttons, dog. Porque hay cosas que yo no tengo. I'm like, I want to see what this shit sounds like.
Y eso va lo mismo de lo que estábamos hablando de, you know, de la calidad de la música. Viene de tener la gente que tiene pasión para hacer esa madre lo hace bien, you know, with the right gear and the right shit, the right tools. Y pues para mí, you know, I pay attention to all that shit, so I always know who puts out shitty product and, you know, who doesn't care and who said whatever and who took their time. You know?
I feel that, like, a lot of people say, no, pues you don't need a fucking expensive ass mic to record, you know, a fucking song. A song's gonna be a hit. Yeah, it'll be a hit, pero it'll sound much better if you do it on a fucking right gear. You know what I mean?
Some fucking classic 80s music and never disappoints you as far as
if
quality
you want
goes.
your music to be considered classic and respected, you have to be able to compare it to the greats. You see the Pink Floyd albums, you see the you know, the classic albums that
fucking Madonna album,
numerous awards for their sound quality, you know,
quality.
and it's like, if you really think you got dope shit, do a A/B with one of these
with something
motherfuckers.
like
You know,
that.
there's a reason. It's really basic. There's a fucking reason why studio equipment is so expensive. There's a reason behind that. It's, they'll sell it to you in a fucking box in a computer, but to really get to that level, it's really difficult, to have the ability to translate one thing into the other. You can't beat that fucking expensive analog equipment, that was made and built with a fucking purpose, and it serves that purpose like a fucking beast,
Yeah,
you can hear it in the
bro.
albums. Escucha hasta lo más clásico de, digamos, los micrófonos de, like Rigo Tobar, tenía su sonido.
Sí, huevo.
Pero todo eso es like, ya no puedes hacer ese sonido. Sí lo haces
The
sintetizado.
Julio Iglesias
but-
shit, even from the 60s, sounds fucking phenomenal.
Beastie as fuck, bro. I'm
It's
sure they were using
crazy.
some fucking crazy ass mics too, like some fucking expensive ass shit, you know?
Well, he had a
Lo gra-
gang of bitches in the studio.
Lo grabó en
Bien
España.
locos.
Serious,
En
dude.
España.
En España lo grabaron.
España lo grabaron.
Oh man, I can't imagine going back to those fucking sessions, bro. Imagine how fucking wild that shit
That's
was.
dope, man. That shit
Like
would
going
be
to a
dope.
Jose session when he was turned up, like you walk into the studio, like what?
Hey,
the
I just
fuck?
started smoking weed a few years ago. I don't think I would be able to deal with the fucking 70s.
That shit was fucking
That shit
wild
was
time.
wild.
yeah.
Go,
Fucking cocaine cowboys and fucking weed and fucking the beginning of
Cocaine
AIDS and all that
cowboys.
shit, man.
Yeah. Hey, so aparte
No, thank
aparte
you.
de weed, you guys never tried anything else? Like you never tried
Nah.
shrooms or anything like that?
No.
You gotta fuck with shrooms, dog.
Why?
Shrooms are fucking.
That's a psychedelic drug.
That's like an eye-opening experience, bro.
I
You
bet.
open that third eye. Boom.
Doesn't that give you like kaleidoscope shit? I don't want to see that shit.
Nah,
that shit
that's
gets
why
me dizzy, bro.
motherfuckers is nowadays don't know if they're fucking boys or girls. They just on them fucking
Hey,
shrooms,
when
bro.
you come back from that shit, you don't even know if you're a boy or a girl. You're
Nah,
like,
nah,
fuck
I know.
that.
Come
I
on, man.
still-
What if you come back sideways? and shit?
Yeah,
Like,
I
ah,
shit.
shit. I identify as a girl
I need
now.
a bathroom just for
Identify
me
as a
now.
sofa. That's fucking crazy.
Nah,
guys.
we've never fucked around with psychedelic drugs. I think
Some DMT.
it's not for everybody.
No.
It's not for
Yeah,
everybody
ayahuasca.
because you kind of start testing your limits as a kid, with the things that you could handle per se, because I remember the first time I was handed over a beer, it was at a fucking camping trip. And as a kid, I had the liberty with no parents, for an entire week. I could drink that fucking beer if I wanted to. But when they gave it to me in the group, I held it, and when nobody would look, I'd spill it. And I'd spill it, and I threw the whole fucking beer. So I
He
knew
thought they were trying to kill him.
no, it's just that I was a coward towards it.
Yeah.
I didn't want because I didn't know what was gonna happen, kind of deal. So when I did start drinking, gracias a Dios, you know what I'm saying, and everything is cool. I know that I can't smoke weed. Like I was afraid to smoke weed. It took a special circumstance for me to fucking try it.
Yeah.
And out of weed, it was like fuck, any other drug, especially a psychedelic drug that really fucks with your fucking it fucks with you at a neurological level. Like
Yeah.
I don't even want to fuck with
You're
it.
like, I don't want none of that.
I've been there already, and it ain't fucking pretty.
God damn. ¿Y tú tampoco?
No.
No?
I don't know.
Oh,
Se me hace que sí, nomás que me dice que no, güey. Pero en veces se pone bien loco.
I
güey.
don't see a need for anything else after weed.
Yeah.
I mean, like
That's
I
where you
said,
draw a line.
it just feels like I reached. It's a real comfortable level that I've never.
Right, I
In that?
don't not want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I don't not want to be present.
Yeah.
I don't want to disappear. I don't know if you've seen that internet meme with the kids that que los desaparecen.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to feel like that.
I don't
Like,
want to. I don't want to take a trip somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm good, bro.
And not come back.
I'm good. You know.
Yeah, no,
They say
no.
people don't come back
Oh,
right
man.
from that. So
I wish, just for fucking, for fucking 5 minutes, you guys could go to where I went mentally.
you
It was-
develop twitches and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
It was the most ugliest fucking place you can be in the entire world in your own brain. It was not a pretty place to be in.
And that was your brain that was doing
It
that
was a
to you.
complete chemical dysfunction, and I remember, like, I can't believe how weak we are as humans. Like I was, I've always felt I'm a man's man. Like I'm
Yeah.
vale madre, me parto la madre. I've been that motherfucker. But when I felt defeated and it brought me down to my knees, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like I'm worthless, I'm helpless. I didn't care about nothing. And I didn't care about a house. I didn't care about a car. I didn't care about a relationship. I didn't care about absolute nothing. I felt without me having my shit together in my head, everything was worthless. It was like Ni es ni depresión, güey. It ain't that. This is beyond.
Beyond that shit, no?
These are some real fucking shenanigans that I've had so much experience with it. I've read so much up on it. I learned a lot of fucking about neuroscience. I've learned about fucking the brain and the functionality of it that I'm saturated with it. And to me, that is the part that I took from it, that I educated myself at a level out of something that happened to me that was really bad, that really, I was done, dude. I was fucking done. Zero. Se acabó. Se acabó.
So you thought, hasta aquí ya.
Yeah, that was it. Like, I was done. I was worthless. I wasn't going to be used for anything. And to have been able to come back from that without medication, nomás por mis pinches huevos, güey.
You know what's crazy? Remember he used to check into the fucking hospital, say faking a heart attack. they gave him medicine one time and shit like that.
Yeah.
He threw all that shit away. Like, I ain't taking
I flushed it.
shit, man.
I flushed it, dude. And I said, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna fucking die right here. Whatever the fuck it is, bring it on, dude. You know, and I went through some fucking crack shit that I only see on TV. And I was like, oh shit, I went through that, but without the drugs. You know, it was just something that really, really fucking se me que pelaron los cables, güey.
Se te pegaron los pinches cables.
So I developed a new fucking perspective towards life, a new respect for life, for fucking people in my life, for the fucking time, the quality that I spend doing what I'm fucking doing. You know, if I'm here, trust me, dude, I appreciate being here. It's because it gives me something. It pulls me out of what I'm doing over there, you know, and it's a real thing, you know, so it does something. If I go visit you, I'm not there just because I need somewhere to fucking be, you know, like I really want to fucking be there.
You really want to be there.
You know, it changed everything. So when I go into the studio, like I said earlier, I haven't went in there in months, dude. And not because I lost the passion for it, but it's just...
there's been no music to
when I get in there, I know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to appreciate what the fuck I'm doing. You know, no es de a huevo. So you start living things with a different purpose. You know, you start talking to people differently. You stop letting motherfuckers blow smoke up your ass. You know, you stop playing the fucking game. And you, more so than anything else, you gain self-respect. So, you know, that shit kicked my ass. But other than just me going through my natural evolution of turning into an older man, it leveled me to a different fucking level that I was not fucking expecting. It was like... Okay, God, no more levels, please.
No more levels.
I'm good. You know, it's like, ya fui uno de tus soldados, ya estuvo. You know, I don't want to be in the ejército no more kind of deal.
Damn,
you know,
bro.
so there's different types of men, you know, and how they project themselves or they feel themselves to be. But, you know, there's different types of things that you go through in life. And I think this was one that, I ran the streets here in Pico Union, you know, with my friends. I did it in South Central. You know, we did our shit. You know, we all did our bad shit to an extent, if you would. That's one thing, you know, making it out of that, you know, and making something out of it. But then within mid-range of the fucking career, for me to suffer something like that is like, I'm serious. You know, you lose your entire family. You lose everything. And what I did is I kept it under wraps. Not for any reason, but just para que no hubiera mitotes, güey.
Sí.
Especially within the family. So I told him, you know, nobody needs to know. I called my older daughter, you know, at the time. I don't remember how old she was, probably about 16. And I said, you know, something happened to me. And she's like, what's up? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know, you know, but something happened to me in my brain. You know, I just don't feel right. And things just ain't right, you know, and I'm just going to be around the house for a minute. So, you know, that was important for me. Other than that, I didn't tell nobody. It was
I'm
like
sure that was like kind of like la sacó de onda, no? Like, what the fuck's going on with that?
She was very supportive. It's like she understood. She never, around the house, it was like she was never there, you know, on her tippy toes all the time. I was just on the fucking couch. You know, he was there. He was there with me for a long time. You know, he was making sure that I was okay. And, you know, I did some crazy shit. It was mid-October, you know, very cold. I jumped in the cold water in the pool, trying to shock myself. I tried to drink a lot of liquor. When I noticed that I wasn't sleeping in the entire week, what I did is I liquored myself up. I said, I'm going to pass out one way or another. And I don't drink hard liquor. You know, so I went into the fucking liquor cabinet and I just started pouring me a lot. Dude, I couldn't get drunk. I couldn't pass out. I tried to make this concoction out of everything in the refrigerator and in the pantry with oil, milk, aceite, like mamada y media, way. And I drank it to try to throw up because I felt que si me vomitaba, it was going to feel better. and I couldn't throw up, and it was just a fucking disaster. And then I grabbed a fucking Sharpie and I shoved it down my throat, trying to make myself. When I noticed I was getting destructive, that's when I called him, and I said, "Hey, you know, I think you should come over, bro, because I'm tearing some shit up." You know,
I'm trying to throw up. No.
and for me to try to explain to somebody something that I've never experienced myself, that is completely out of this fucking world, so bizarre. His comprehension to me was like almost like he understood, you know. But now that the time has went by, as he tells you, well, this guy used to say some crazy shit that I didn't know what it fucking meant, but to me, it still makes sense to today. Like I just have trouble describing to you an experience that you have never had an experience with, so you have nothing to compare it against.
Fuck. So I'm assuming that when you hear those lyrics now, it takes you back to that.
Not in a traumatic way. I don't have a trauma about it at all.
Oh, that's badass.
You know, I'm like I pulled out and I said, wow, so that's what it does, huh? You know, and I had more respect towards, you know, the way I take care of myself, you know, my diet, my exercise, you know, my routines, what I do. Because, you know, I like to drink. You know, I smoke cigarettes and I fucking smoke weed now.
We're old school. We smoke regular cigarettes.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta be on top of that, you know. But other than that experience, you know, I know what it was. I know where I went. I know where I came back from, you know, and you know, I'm a completely different individual than who I was fucking 10 years ago.
You overcame it completely.
100%. You know, I have small setbacks now, but they're more like red flags. Like, yo, it's time to take a break again, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like you're overdoing it again, because I already know where that road heads to. You know, so to me, what is it called? Your mental health. You know, a lot of people overlook it. A lot of people don't have respect for it. They don't believe in it. You know, it's like, that's esto, that's business. You know, no, that's just for real. You know, I never feel embarrassed or ashamed or afraid to talk about this to anybody, because, you know, to the ones that are going through it right now, I know what time it is with that shit. You know, it'll pass. Hang in there. And to those that don't know, you know, you might want to develop some type of respect for shit like that, because it's fucking real, you know, and somebody that pulls out of that is a fucking champ. Firsthand.
And that's why we don't do drugs.
That's why. Smoke weed, that's it. Hey,
real shit.
Definitely raising awareness on that shit is, porque la neta, and I've talked about it before, especially entre la paisanada, like, we don't like to go to the doctor and we don't like to diagnose ourselves.
Hey, I don't go como dijo George Lopez, because they'll find something. They'll find something.
I think it's a matter of costumbre, you know. See, if you weren't raised with that, I mean, my mom never took us to the doctor, even cracked our head, hospital, nothing, you know. So it was like whatever, you know. You don't, if you're not accustomed to it, I don't think you feel like you need it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
I think it's more of a man thing. Because even within, you know, the Mexican families, you know, like our own, you know, the girls took care of themselves and went to the doctor periodically on their routine checks and all that shit. You know, it's just us as men, you know, from, you know, our end of the culture, you know, it's like, ¿pa qué chingados voy a ir? You know,
some people show up, like, yo tengo años sin el pinche doctor, ¿verdad? Todos jodidos por dentro.
You don't want to go because they might find something.
Hell no, dog. A mí me duele el pinche pinky. I'm like, I'm going to go to the doctor.
I'll tell you something hurts, motherfucker. I'm good.
Oh, man. So we're turning this into a whole fucking medical thing. We're a group session.
Talk, dog. This is viejito talk. Come on, dog.
Session.
Hey, we're old school, man.
So what's next for y'all? What y'all working on? What you guys getting ready to release? New material, new music?
We're working on some new music, definitely new music. We're getting ready to release the second half of El Atraco.
I came out on the first video on that one.
Yeah, you were also on la canción del...
Hey, that fucking video has been one of my fucking best
that's
productions.
A badass song, bro.
That video was on point, dude.
La novela.
You know that director died, Marty Thomas.
Oh, shit. I was just telling Nigel about it, that he did on NWA, and I remember that. Oh, he passed away.
Rest in peace. He passed away, I think, maybe two or 3 years ago.
No, it was more than that.
You think it was
more than that? Yeah.
Shit, well, I had a fucking nervous breakdown any day. I say counts.
Yeah, he was a cool dude, though. He had actually shot our very first video back in 1995 when we used to do an English
album. That's the guy
album.
I learned all my shit from.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's who inspired me. I watched him work, especially on that video de la novela.
Yeah.
I watched him work. I seen him work on the other videos that he's done with us, but right there he did some really artistic, cool shit.
Yeah.
And I seen how he handled the people, how he handled the talent in the crowd, how he handled his people that were working with him. You know,
he's such a fucking pro.
Yeah. You know, if you're fucking trying to direct, you gotta call the fucking shots.
Yeah.
Sin miedo, if you have the vision.
And I remember that when we were doing the atraco video, you had everybody on check. Hey, cabrón, vámonos, y la chingada.
Ya me puse peor, güey.
Ya regaña todo.
Mira, güey. Ok, ahí sí, como ustedes ven su pedo como arte, right? Like, les encanta estar aquí, les encula, güey. A mí lo de la video me da la misma, güey.
Sí.
Like,
sí.
I have to, because I have this vision, you know.
Yeah.
Yo ando acá con mis pinches jotadas, güey, no con mi visión. No te creas. No, but you know what I mean? Like, I get into it. It's just fucking passionate, you know?
Yeah.
And when it's time to get it done, it's just like you having a fucking musician here and telling them, bro, you gotta hit the note.
Yeah.
You gotta
like
hit the
this.
fucking
One
note.
more time.
You know, or vocally, you know, you're not hitting the range, bro. See, no. You know, and it's the same to me when I'm fucking shooting or directing. It's just that I'm not yelling at people because I'm a grumpy ass.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
just
Yeah,
that-
it is. That's why I hate fucking.
No, it's just that they motherfuckers
Come
ain't
on,
hitting the
dog.
note. They ain't hitting the note.
No, but you know, yeah, I mean, it's just at this point, fuck, we have like a backlog of featurings that we have to do. I mean, that this has been throughout like a few years. People that we just said, all right, we get to it.
Tenemos puro secret project, güey.
Yeah, so you know, it's a lot of that, and we have the title for the next album.
Yeah.
But that'll get started on, I guess, after we get all these features out the way, because there's a list.
But on the upside, I'm back in the studio. I started again. I
All right.
started this
So
week.
yeah, we're like I said, we're working at our pace.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. You know, but we don't feel like we're being pressured into putting something out. We don't feel like, you know, it's anything like that.
El
So,
Chonchi no los trae.
pues,
Sí, güey, pero pues le apagamos el
no
teléfono.
lo quiero sacar al flote, but that's the guy that's always stressed out, you know, because of the dates and shit. You know, I'm like, Nick, I haven't done it,
I
man.
haven't done it. I'll get to it when I get to it. Dice.
Mañana te lo tengo, le digo.
La clásica, al rato te lo mando. Al rato y no te
¿No te
mandas ni
llegaron?
madres, ¿verdad? Al rato, hermano, quiere decir que no vas a mandar ni madres, ¿verdad?
No, you know, the last thing I want to do is sound like those artists that say, oh, you know, we got big things happening.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's like, it ain't.
We're doing our shit.
We're doing our thing at a pace, you know, but there are, you know, a lot of projects that we are not at liberty to talk about yet, you know, but are important projects that are going to, you know, shift things around here and there, you know, musically. And, you know, not selling anybody any kind of expectation, but it will be groundbreaking again.
Yeah.
You know, it's some, they're a pretty big deal. So
That's a lot of
you know,
pressure.
We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
We're looking forward to that, you know, and it's exciting. You know, we're working a pretty big sponsorship also right now. You know, currently,
I heard about that too.
you know,
That's
and
fucking
you know,
beautiful, dog.
I hate speaking on things, you know, before they're 100%, but you know, I can say that. Other than that, you know, it feels really, really fucking good getting in the studio and doing that shit, you know, and writing and continued to be inspired to write music, you know. It's just, you know, it's a blessing for me.
You know,
thing that
you know
we
what's
do,
to me lately, the only positive thing I could say about social media that keeps this shit interesting
Napster when it was free.
is to see the response in the audience that we've gathered from the beginning to now is like, fuck, you know, I mean I occasionally view comments on artists and shit like that, and there's always some fucking negative shit, some hating
That's
shit
always
or
gonna happen, bro.
whatever. And you know, and when I go into our social media and do that, it's like, you know, the comments are like, fuck, I remember this and that, and I still hear to this day, you know. It's like desde morro hasta ahorita, and my dad and my mom is like, fuck, you know, it's transcending. And to me, that's what, like, all right, we're doing something that they're liking. So, you know, we keep it that way.
And if you hear that one of those songs from back in the day, it still sounds like it's something that
it could have came out right now.
It could have came out right now, you know, and that's timeless
well,
music.
I tell everybody, but they don't believe us. We're actually from the future.
Yeah.
See, they laugh.
Yeah.
They laugh. But, you know, we are.
Remember
from the
those
future.
fucking sightings that the military had? It was my
That was
dad
you guys?
coming to see me to school.
You were
They had
late-
just
you were
dropped me
late at
off.
that? You were late-
A lot of the comments have that too. They say that, you know, we were ahead of our time and shit. But, you know, but to us, it was just, we were doing how we felt
how
it.
you felt
and
it.
you know, the label let us roll with it the way we wanted to. They tried to force us to do reggaeton for a while, but, you know, we refused. And it's not, we might have missed out on a bigger career or bigger opportunities, but that music ain't us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're doing what we are.
I was just gonna say that you guys are doing you.
Yeah,
You know,
we're doing this. So
that's badass.
it's
bro.
cool. You know, we didn't need to do that. we didn't need to do that, and we were fortunate not to, and still be here today, and still making music that people like and enjoy.
I mean, I think you guys definitely have your loyal fan base that que siempre estado con ustedes desde el principio. And those are the ones that are forever going to buy your albums. And, I mean, well, now not even buying albums, now it's
stream our albums.
Para comprar tu cassette, you know.
O el MP3 en la pulga, and el USB.
They still sell that shit.
Yeah, I know. They have them by genre now. They have them by genre.
You know what's funny though, now that you say that, is that like the first album, especially the first album today, has regenerated itself into the younger generation on its own.
Yeah.
Because of social media.
Yeah, and like I said, it's timeless music that it sounds like you could have taken it out yesterday. It sounds it's like
that's awesome to I mean, for me personally, to get to relive that is like again.
That's fucking badass.
You know, you're hearing
who can say that? Who can fucking say that?
Where were you 20 years ago?
I'm saying, it's a trip. It's a fucking trip. It trips me out. It's like, you know what though? I dig it all over again because I hear now the music with a different ear. You know, I'm not in the studio producing that or stressing over anything. I'm just a spectator.
Enjoying it
from a
this
spectator's
side,
point of view. Yeah, that's fucking badass, bro. La neta, I know. I mean, I've seen a couple of the things that I've heard a couple of things that you guys are, you know, working on. You know, como dices tú, we won't say any names, but I know you guys are gonna la van a romper bien cabrón, güey, la neta. And I wish you guys.
Aunque no estés hablando de lo del McDonald's, no hay pedo, güey. ¿Estamos en vivo? No, esto no es en vivo, güey.
Y me regaló una pinche hamburguesa de pérdida. Ay, cabrón.
Big Macs for everybody, bitches. Come on.
French fries for life.
La neta, I wish you guys the best. Ahorita nos vamos a ir a fumar un pinche gallo.
Oh, man, that's funny shit.
Thank you guys, bro. Thank you guys for coming down.
Thank
bro.
you, man.
It's been a long time. We needed to catch up, bro.
It's been a good. I mean, we feel really comfortable here.
This is a comfortable spot. It's a different type of environment.
Different type of vibe to do this shit. You know?
I'm glad you guys like it.
You don't ask the usual questions and shit.
Nah, bro. Yo soy bien metiche, güey.
¿Por qué Akwid?
No, hey, güey.
Son hermanos.
¿Cómo empezaron Akwid? You know, I mean, this shit, we pretty much always just wing it, you know? I mean, like, como ustedes, pues son camaradas que los conozco de tiempo, so I know, like, shit, I mean, there's other things that I want to know, not just the basic questions that everybody asks, you know?
That's good, though, man. Yeah, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate it, you know, for reals, and, you know, this is another outlet, you know, all these other people, you know, that have their different dynamics in their podcasts, you know, and their way of doing things, but, you know, yeah, this does present a comfortable environment, like you say, you know, we have some type of friendly seniority, you know, that puts us at a different comfort.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Yeah, with that, you know, and all your fans, all the people that are watching, you know, we're grateful. I hope we don't offend nobody too much. You know, that's what the fuck we do. We tell the fucking truth. And, you know, nos vemos en el camino.
A huevo. I wish you guys the best, guys. La neta, ahí estamos a la orden. Aquí tienen su casa whenever you guys want, man.
Gracias.
God bless you. God bless everybody. Take care of your mental health. I mean it.
Akwid in the house, guys. Saludos.
Dulces.
Peace.
Así pero bien. Vámonos recio.
Vámonos recio. Ya soy regional mexicano. Dije, vámonos recio.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Nosotros somos
Akwid.
¡Ah, de verga!
Voces del rancho.
Fuck.